My guest is Lindsey Horan. She's a member of the U.S. Women's National Team and the NWSL's Portland Thorns. She's the 2018 NWSL MVP. She's joining me on behalf of Power Up Premium Trail Mix. You can find her on Twitter at Lindsey Horan and on Instagram at Lindsey Horan 10. Lindsey, how are you? Thanks for joining me.
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I see that for the Portland Thorns, you were just approved to have fans back at games starting in April. That's got to be pretty exciting after playing most of the last year with no fans.
Yeah, no, I think we get 20 to 25%, which is huge when it's Thorns fans because it will feel like a whole stadium. So it's very nice.
Yeah, explain to people who have never been to a Thorns game. I'm based in Portland too, so I try and explain to people you have the highest attendance of any women's professional sports team in the world, not just in the US, and it's just a different atmosphere. But from a player, what is that like for you?
Yeah, it is kind of hard to explain, but the best way I can put it is I think the Thorns fans know football very well. So they're actually like cheering for the right things. Whereas, some places in America, you hear the fans that are like screaming because you're close to a goal, but you sky it's 30 yards over. And like fans get excited for that because it's a chance on goal. But like here, it's like you get this incredible atmosphere. And then you also have these fans that are like cheering for a last minute tackle or like a good buildup leading to an attack. It's really cool because they actually know their football really well. So I think that's what makes it a little bit more special. And then, just the feeling that you get through the entire game, like it's again like a 12th man on the field, and you feel like you have this up on every team that you play against. And again, like no matter like win, loss, whatever, they are like cheering, screaming until the final whistle and afterwards when we're walking around the field. So I think that is just a very special feeling with the Thorns.
It's interesting to me that Alex Morgan, Tobin Heath, others from the U.S. Women's National Team have decided to leave the NWSL and go play overseas. You stayed here. Why?
Yeah, I think obviously players have, their choices and what's best for their career at certain points. And obviously, with those kind of players, I think it was a challenge for them that they were seeking. And I guess right now, this is where I want to be. And especially this season and getting back with the Thorns, it just felt right. And especially leading to a Olympic year, it's a little bit easier being home. So again, nothing taken away from whatever anyone wants to do in their career path.
A lot of people may not realize this, and frankly, I didn't realize it until I started doing my homework on you for this interview. You skipped college. You could have gone to North Carolina and you went directly to the pros. And, we talk about a lot of other athletes and other sports who do that, but you did that. Why did you make the decision to go directly to the pros?
Yeah, I think, again, we talk about, right thing, right time for career paths. I think at that point, again, it was a very difficult decision. We don't have to go into all the details, but I think it was the route that I wanted to choose at that time. And, the decision probably took a year to make because I was finishing out my high school year. But I just don't think college was the right route for me. And I chose ultimately to go play overseas, and I wanted to challenge myself and make myself uncomfortable. And that is what I did.
What did you learn from playing overseas?
A lot.
I bet. Like what?
I think one, it just made me grow up a little bit quicker than I think I would have here. And then with that, you experience a new culture, a new language, and everything. You're kind of fighting everything on your own at the age of 18. So it was a huge adjustment for me. And again, I'm very independent in general. So it was difficult, but doing all of the soccer stuff and being in a professional environment as an 18-year-old, but then also everything outside of that, learning how to like buy stuff for your apartment and put in stuff in your fridge, so it's crazy, but just like becoming an adult at an early age.
Yeah, I can't even imagine at that age if I had gone overseas and tried to figure that all out. That would have been crazy. I want to talk to you a little bit about the NWSL, the growth of the league. Um, when we talk about growing women's sports in the United States, I see the NWSL and WNBA being two really important leagues that they thrive. What do you think needs to happen? I see Angel City has been added in Los Angeles. What do you think needs to happen with the NWSL in order for women's soccer and women's sports in general to continue to thrive in the United States?
Exposure. I was talking about it the other day. I thought it was so cool that we can now watch some of the FA Cup games and the women over in England on NBCSN. And then I thought to myself, well, why can't we watch the NWSL on these channels? And I think we get a different TV provider every single year, which is great. And we hype it up and we get super excited, but it's like it's not consistent, and I don't understand why and why someone wouldn't want to show us, and especially everything that's been done, and then coming off a World Cup win, and you thought you would get more and more exposure, and then what the NWSL is doing, it's one of the best leagues in the world, and you would feel like you would want to watch it. So I think that's the number one thing.
I've had Megan Klingenberg, your teammate. I've had Abby Wambach on. We've talked about equal pay and the importance of equal pay and the fight that the U.S. women's national team has been in for, it seems like, forever to try and get equal pay. I'm on record on this show saying many, many times that I think not only do the U.S. women's national team members deserve equal pay, I think you deserve more pay. Because if we live in a results-oriented world, you guys have delivered the results on a consistent basis. Where do you stand in the equal pay conversation?
I think we're kind of at the same point as we have been. We keep fighting for it, and obviously, the lawsuit that we had didn't get approved by the judge, but we're still fighting, and we're doing everything that we can to make that possible. And it's one being said with our U.S. women's national team and what we're fighting for and what we're trying to do with them, but it's another thing to do that so that the NWSL players have the same thing and the same equality, and that it shouldn't just be for our women's national team, that we're fighting for our NWSL players as well, and then you see around the nation what other leagues are doing, like the WNBA.
You've been playing soccer your whole life. The game looks like it's growing in the United States. It's always been big globally. Do you see that the game is being played by more and more people, or more and more people starting to embrace soccer in the United States?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I talk about exposure. I think one, it is getting more exciting for America. The sports were, football, basketball, baseball. That's what was exciting. But I think now that the more exposure you get, the more people that just start watching, even our, not our normal fans that don't know anything about soccer. I think they still get excited when they see a goal, or, they see some quality of play. So I think the more that happens, the more people that want to play, the more little girls and boys that want to play, and they get to see us, and they go, okay, they're my idol now. I want to go out and kick a soccer ball. So the more we can make it possible for that to happen, the better.
You played outstanding in the recent SheBelieves Cup. I think you're playing some of the best soccer I've seen you play. You were MVP again in 2018 of the NWSL. What's clicking for you right now? What's working for you? Because it seems like you're playing at such a high level.
Well, thank you very much. And I think, again, my game, I kind of take every moment, every step at a time. And I think during the SheBelieves Cup, it's probably the best I've felt with the national team in a long time. And that being said, I think Vlatko's done a really good job with the team and helping us play to our strengths and abilities and the way he wants us to play as well. I think, I'm very comfortable on the side that I'm with and the players that are around me, and they make me better. So it's exciting to see and exciting to feel while we're out on the field as well.
You were supposed to go to Tokyo last summer, like everyone else, for the Olympics. It got delayed to this summer. Has that helped you? Did it hurt you? How have you trained? I've interviewed some other Olympians and they've said the extra year has helped them prepare for hopefully this summer. How has it impacted you?
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you're in a team setting, you know. I think having the extra year, it could hurt and help. I think the way I look at it is as positive as possible, but um, you know, some could defer to that. I think for like other Olympians that it's an individual sport, you know, you train 4 years for something, it's probably mind blowing to them that something could be pushed back or canceled or postponed, you know. And for us, we just come off a World Cup and now we have an extra year to prepare. I think it suited us a bit, but we're used to, you know, the back to back big tournaments and everyone being absolutely knackered afterwards. But so I think this gave us a little bit of time to prepare and then give Vlatko some more tough decisions because you have younger players that are coming through and making it difficult for, you know, some of the older vets.
More nerve-wracking, World Cup or Olympics?
World Cup every time.
Why?
I think for soccer, World Cup is like the pinnacle of tournaments, and you know it is just a football tournament. I think that doesn't take anything away from how important the Olympics are, and it's just a different feeling when you're there because you're playing not only just, you know, soccer, you're playing for your country that supports all of these athletes around the tournament. So it's a different feeling. You're rooting for every single American that's out there. But during the World Cup, it's just our national team playing for the U.S. And again, I think that is just the top of the tier for football.
Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about some off the field stuff for a little bit. We are both partners with Power Up Premium Trail Mix. What's your favorite flavor? I like the protein pack because it's got the cherries in it, and I'm a
The
big cherries guy.
antioxidant one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, or the omega one. It depends on the day, and also it switches all the time because I eat so much of it. So it's like I'll like pack on the omega one, and I'm like, okay, I've got a little sick of it. I need to change it up. So that's a nice thing about them. Like every single pack is so good.
Yeah, the other thing too, I mean, I got to be honest, is I've eaten trail mix all my life, but until I had premium trail mix, I didn't really know the difference. And the ingredients in Power Up are so much more healthy than the junk that comes in some of those other trail mixes. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing about Power Up is you know that what you're putting in your body is going to benefit you, and the nutrients that you're getting are going to benefit you, and especially for a professional athlete, I think that's ideal. You know, we have packets laying around here at the Thorns facility, which is really nice, and then you know I have a whole cupboard full at home, so it's an easy on the go snack for me, and you know, just reliable when I need it.
We do something called the Power Up Power Player of the Week. It's someone in the world of sports and business who we shine the spotlight on. This week, it's Bianca Smith, who is the first black woman coach in Major League Baseball with the Red Sox. If you were going to pick a power player of the week this week, who would you pick?
Okay, sorry, power player for
just for the world of sports or business. It could be an athlete, it could be a coach, it could be a business executive. Is there somewhere out there right now that's catching your eye going, wow, they're doing a really good job?
I think, you know, it's crazy. I hear so much going on with Marcus Rashford. I haven't read everything, but the little bits and pieces that I've read and how much exposure he's giving over there in England and how much he's doing on the side is incredible. And he's getting praise from so many individuals and high up individuals. So I think that's one name that really stands out to me. Trying to think other than that, I could name so many of my teammates right now that you know, Crystal Dunn, Simone, Charlie here on Portland Thorns. I think they're doing a phenomenal job with, you know, just the Black Players Collective and what they're doing for them and how they are also giving exposure here in the US and just continuing the conversation and the support moving forward. I think that goes without being said, but other than that, I think those are the names that really stick out to me.
In addition to Power Up Premium Trail Mix, you work with Adidas, you have other sponsors. When a company approaches you, what are you looking for from them in order to say, yeah, I'll work with you?
um, you know, sometimes it's tough for me because, a deal is a deal, and it's exciting, but a lot of the brands that I'm with, like Power Up, it's something like, I want to buy into and I want to actually like, and that makes me like more excited about being partners and kind of like a family now. And I think Power Up is such a huge representation of that because one, I like I like the product and I love the people and they're so great to me. So it makes everything so easy, and it's like you have these appearances or you have the photo shoots or whatever, and it makes it so easy and seamless because I actually enjoy the brand, the product, and all the people around it. So I think, you know, with that being said, it's it's made it harder for me with brands because I want the same, kind of community that I get with Power Up. But I think that's such an important factor, for us because it's not easy work. But because they're giving so much to us, and now we represent their brand, I think we have to give the same back. And having that relationship is really cool. So I think again, Power Up is a great representation of, the perfect sponsorship.
And what about Adidas? Are you a shoe person and a fashion person, or I know you've been with them for a while.
Yeah. It's funny, my fashion style and sense has really taken it up a notch, I think, for the past 10 years. I was terrible when I was a kid. I was just like lugging around in sweats and stuff. But I think now with Adidas, I think they've done, an incredible job over the last, oh my gosh, how many years have I been with them? All my years of being pro. Um, I've just seen like so much progression in their style, their fashion, their boots, everything. So I absolutely love it, and I want like all the newest things, every like new release. I have to like go on every single day to the site and see what's out there because I want it first, and I want to be the first one wearing it, so no one else is. But yeah.
When I had Dame Lillard on, because Adidas is here in Portland, he would talk about he'd go meet with them, he'd go pick up the product as soon as it was, he didn't have to wait for it to be shipped. Do you ever go over to Adidas headquarters and say, hey, I want some of this, or do you want to have input on some of their product development? Do you wear test anything?
Yeah, I'm always testing a new product. I actually have something here, can't show you it, but
Darn.
testing that out right now for Adidas. But I think that comes like every few months, which is really cool because Adidas actually is asking the athlete what they like and what they don't. And yeah, I would say, besides COVID time, I would be over at Adidas quite often, one to either go shopping or to meet with them. They made me custom shoes, which was really nice because I have terrible feet problems. But yeah, Adidas is great. Like I said, with the brand and the family and the community, I think Adidas is perfect for that category for me.
What's the most damage you've ever done in the Adidas employee store? Have you been in there like half the day and you come out of there with a few $1,000 of product?
Most damage is probably like taking my brother there and having him go crazy, and I'm like, okay, well, there goes half my card.
Yeah.
No, he's just funny because I'll tell him, okay, like get a few things, and then I come back with a grocery list of like 15, and like I'm just like, Mike, you go have your fun.
Yeah.
So it's
That's,
probably my brother doing the most damage.
I've noticed you post pretty frequently on Twitter and on Instagram. What's your social media strategy? Do you go on there whenever you feel like it? Do you have a set, number of days that you want to go on per week? What's the strategy?
I have no strategy, but to
Okay.
keep my sponsors happy. There's certain posts that need to go up. But other than that, I'm pretty like chill. I'm not like the biggest social media person, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
I see that the star of your social media feed, at least on Instagram, is your dog Ferguson.
He is, and actually he's here right now, but someone's watching him, so he didn't ruin my podcast.
So the Thorns locker room is dog friendly. Dogs are allowed to run around in the locker room, or is that just a special thing for Ferguson?
Only Ferguson, only the cutest. No. We had our social media day here, so Ferguson was allowed to come in. Of course, he has to take photos with me.
Of course. How old is Ferguson?
Ferguson is 1.
Oh, Ferguson's only 1. I thought Ferguson was like a couple years old. It seems like there have been so many pictures on your social feed that I thought Ferguson was older than 1.
Oh no, the little guy is 1, still acts like he's 3 months old, but he's a good one.
And has he been home with you to Colorado?
Yep, he's made every trip with me. He's a gem. He's so great on planes and cars, like perfect little kid.
And likes the beach, like most dogs?
Never taken him to the beach.
Oh, come on. Ferguson needs to go to Cannon Beach.
Terrible, Mom. I know. He's gonna make a trip. He's got to see the Rock and everything.
All right. Portland is a foodie town. I've talked to some of your teammates. They have their favorite places they like to eat or grab a cup of coffee. You don't have to name any place if you don't want, but would you agree that Portland's a foodie town? And are there haunts that you like to hang out at?
Yes, but I don't think I'd be like the normal person here giving like these great foodie
like Megan.
Yeah, like Megan. And my friend Alex always gives me the best recommendations. I go to him and he doesn't even live here. No, I'd probably say one of my favorite places is Upper Left Roasters for avocado toast.
Ooh.
The absolute best. And then Alex will probably kill me for this one, but it's this Thai bloom place that I get the same Thai dish every single time. It's kind of like just a modern Thai place, and I'm sure there's so many better ones, but it's my spot and I can't change from it.
Hey, habits are hard to break. All right, before I let you go, between now and Olympics, I know the Thorn season starts pretty soon, but kind of walk us through your schedule and everything leading up to Olympics.
Yeah, so as of right now, we're just in preseason. We have a few preseason games, scrimmages, and then we head off to Sweden and France with the national team early April. And then our Challenge Cup starts for Portland. So we'll be back mid-Challenge Cup. We'll miss the first 2 games, of course, which is a bummer. But so we come back, play the rest of the Challenge Cup. Then the NWSL season starts May 15th, I believe. We'll probably make 3 or 4 of them. And then if I make the Olympic roster, I think we are off at the end of May or early June for a send-off series games. And then it's kind of all towards the Olympics then, I believe. Crazy.
And have you spent any time in Tokyo?
I've been there, not Tokyo, but I've been to Japan. I've been to Osaka, and I can't remember the other city with my U20 national team.
Okay. Yeah, it's beautiful there. And
Yeah.
and I'm sure they'll be well prepared because they had an extra year to prepare. So I'm sure it'll be good. Lindsey Horan, member of the U.S. Women's National Team and the NWSL's Portland Thorns. Follow her on Twitter at Lindsey Horan and on Instagram at Lindsey Horan 10. My best to you and Ferguson. Good luck with the NWSL season and best of luck with the Olympics. And thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks for having me.